Designer, Vince. Producer, unknown. Editor, Vince. Proofreader, Vince. 1. Fill in the blanks with words from the box. Democracy. A corrupt politician. A corporation. Profit. An advertisement. Freedom of the press. Privacy. Examples. An advertisement tries to make consumers buy a company's product. Democracy is a system of government in which people choose their own leaders. Privacy is an important right that should be respected by the media. A corrupt politician uses public money for his or her private use or takes bribes. A corporation is a large company or group of companies. Profit is the positive difference between sales and costs. Freedom of the press is the right of the media to publish the truth in newspapers, television, etc. 2. Reading. In the past, news could only travel as fast as a person could travel, but modern technologies such as satellite television and internet can now instantly bring us news from around the world. Today, people have hundreds of choices in that they receive news. News, magazines, satellite television, and the internet combine to make this the information age. The news that we get from our newspapers, television screens, or computers is shaped in various ways. First, the technology of the media determines whether we can have text, sound, video, or a combination of these. Second, news is shaped by the political focus of the media. For example, in the United Kingdom, The Times is a right-wing conservative newspaper, whereas The Guardian is more left-wing and liberal. Third, the circumstances in which reporters work may also shape the news. During the war in Iraq in 2003, reporters were embedded in military units and the army controlled what news could be broadcast. In ordinary situations, too, there is so much news that the media must select the content that they show us. The top story on one television network may not even be shown on another. Fourth, because people have many choices, media compete with each other by offering a range of styles of news, from serious news such as politics to entertaining news such as celebrity sex scandals. Two television networks may differ completely in both style and content. In most democracies, the media have the freedom to publish or broadcast anything that they believe to be true. It is worrying when a government tries to limit the freedom of the press and to control what individuals are allowed to read or hear. However, there is sometimes a conflict between freedom of the press and an individual's right to privacy. In search of profit, media companies often fail to sufficiently respect the privacy of individuals. Reading 2. America's first newspaper. The first American newspaper was published in Boston in 1704. Compared to the modern newspaper with its many pages and sections, it was very simple. The Boston Newsletter was a single page of news which was issued weekly. At first, most of the news was from Europe because at this time, many Americans still regarded Europe as home. It also included some local news about ship arrivals, deaths, and accidents. One of the first stories described the death of the famous pirate Blackbeard in an exciting battle on his ship. The second editor of the newspaper changed the focus to local news, and today most American newspapers feature little international news. Exercise. Write the answers to the following questions as you read the text. What was the writer doing before he began to think? Were the classes in his school interesting? What are some important things for a child to do? Why do teachers think that children cannot read? What do you think the writer's most important message is? Article. So many teachers have been warning us about the dangers of TV for our children that I got up off the sofa, put down the remote control, and began to think about it seriously. These teachers complain that television is too passive and that children need to be more active. More active? That's great advice, but it's a little hard to listen to when it's coming from teachers. When I remember back to my school days, I always see a teacher talking on and on about some boring subject like the Russian Revolution with all those really difficult names like Trotsky and Tchaikovsky. A good video with lots of guns and blood would have taught me the story so much better. Television certainly does not encourage active and interactive behavior, but do we see children running around in the classroom? Of course not. Most teachers demand that students stay still and quiet at their desks for the whole class. Anyone who has had children knows that this is a most unnatural state. Children need to run around and hit things, break chairs, and shout in adults' ears. Creating hell for their parents is an important part of growing up. Teachers know this because they have to see their own children after work, but in the classroom, they make children sit in this unnatural, bored state and learn long lists of Russian names. Another common complaint is about reading. Teachers say that watching television is taking too much time and is the main reason that students cannot read well. After all, the average American spends about 4 hours per day watching television and only 30 minutes reading. However, in school, many children learn to hate reading because it is taught so badly. I still remember being laughed at by my teacher because I couldn't pronounce cognac properly. My television never laughs at me. It respects my feelings. I could even say that school is taking too much time and is the main reason that students do not enjoy reading. Spending hours at a classroom desk is often no better than spending hours in front of a television. Children need to learn by doing, not by learning about things as they do so often in school. Watching a boring teacher may often be doing them more harm than watching a television.